Okay, so sorry if I'm looking away from the camera a lot. I'm driving, so if I'm going to drive and film, I have got to watch the road. So we are headed out to pick up a unexpected purchase. This is typically how these go down. Typically, I'm just working on stuff. During the weekend, I'm doing the builds that you see me show on video. I'm testing systems. I'm doing the gaming demo videos that you see, stuff like that. But then I've also got Craigslist, Offerup, Facebook Market, all three of them kind of running, just hitting refresh every few minutes. I actually got lucky on this one. This one had been up for over an hour, which typically, if it's a deal that you can make money on, typically they go pretty fast. So I'm kind of surprised. So what this is assuming it is what he says it is. I was able to get a good enough look at the parts and the photos that it generally looks about right. He didn't post a photo of like the system properties and Windows or something like that. But according to the listed specs, it should be an i7 8700K. I think it's got 16 gigs in it. It might be 32, but I'm gonna guess it showed 2 chips or two sticks, and back then it was a little lower end, so I'm gonna guess 16. And then interestingly enough, it has a Intel ARC A750. It's got Intel ARC A750, which is and it's got the Intel Special Edition version. The whole build is 150. So typically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that GPU out, and I'll probably it's in a low-end case, so I may even end up swapping cases. I may end up using that low-end cases. Low-end cases, they do well for lower-end systems like the sub $300 systems. I can usually put those in anything if it's in decent condition. So it looked like it had an acrylic side panel, so we'll probably go that route. But I've actually really wanted to play with one of the A700. I would have preferred an A770, but beggars can't be choosers, right? But I haven't want to pay what people want for them. So it'll be an interesting GPU. We'll do some video with it. I'll do some demos. I'll probably throw it in maybe my newer system. I might throw that on the 13900K, because that actually should pair well with like a 11th, 12th, 13th, something like that as a low end GPU. So we'll jack around with it. But I'm going to turn the video off now, and once I have it, I'll show you guys what I got. And this may be one of those ones. He seemed like one of those kind of IT-ish kind of guys. So I'm not going to be surprised if I end up with more than, because I always bring cash with me, and I have money on me to potentially purchase other things if he's got some deals. So we'll see what else he has and go from there. Okay, so I got the build. I can't actually show it in my hand like I can the GPUs, but it does appear to be what it is. It's definitely an 8th gen. It appears to have a Z370 board in it. Looks like an ASUS Tuff something or another, so it's got a good board. It's got an SSD, I think a 256 or 240 or something like that, which is, for the budget builds, it's perfectly fine. I'll probably use that SSD for a much lower end build, and then order like a 500 or 1 terabyte, depending on how much I end up trying to sell the build for that I'm putting it into. i7 8700K, 32 gigs of RAM, maybe like possibly I've actually got a Titan. I've got a Titan X Pascal that's basically it's basically a GTX 1080 with 12 gigs of VRAM and a little bit of a bump in performance. So I may end up doing that for like $550, something like that. Those usually go, if I put it in a nice case, those usually go for a decent amount. So, and then it's got the Intel, whatever you call it, special edition, basically Intel's Founders Edition, A750, which again, I would have preferred a 770. But that being said, like I said, beggars can't be choosers, and it's the nice model. It's the one everybody wanted, and honestly, it's an interesting curiosity collector's edition item at this point. Essentially, it'll be free once I deal with the rest of the parts. So, yeah, we'll get it home. We'll mess with it. I didn't test it, so one of the ways that I make sellers more comfortable to deal with me and make it so that my offer carries weight over other offers is that I don't message them and say something like, oh, you know, can I come test it? Is it this? Does it work? Does it that? Typically, I message somebody and I say, hey, I want your item. Where can I pick it up? I've got cash in hand. And that typically gives my offer weight over other people's offers because most people want to kick tires. They want to come, they want to test it, they want to make sure it works. And like if it's an expensive item or like a single expensive item or something like that, dude just jumped out in front of me. No, just because you're in a nicer car than me doesn't mean you get to take my right of way. Not cool. But where was I? Yeah, so I don't typically ask to test items. I'm a pretty good judge. You know, when somebody, you know, some of the things to look for on that, you know, somebody lets you come to their house, the chances of them trying to screw you are very low. If somebody's trying to screw you, that's not always the case. Not everybody that wants to meet in a parking lot is trying to screw you. Most of them still are just worried about their safety. But when you get somebody who clearly doesn't appear worried about their safety, it's pretty good indication that they've got a solid item they're just trying to get rid of. And it wasn't a ton of money, okay? That's another thing I always try to point out to people is that if $150 is a loss that you cannot accept, if that's an amount of money that you cannot lose, you have no business doing this, okay? It's a risk, right? And if $100, $200, if that's a big risk to you, just go save your money, buy at Best Buy, get your warranty, be happy. This isn't the world for you. I know that makes me sound like an asshole to say that, but it is what it is. Like, you got to be willing to take some risk. But anyway, we'll get the item home and make sure it works, and I'll do a little bit more once we get there and can show you what I ended up with. Okay, so I'm home, and so let's take a look at what I ended up with. So we definitely have an ARC A750, which I'm kind of looking forward to playing with that. I don't know how much RAM it has. I'm going to guess either 16 or 32. The stick said 16 on them, but that could have been, I couldn't verify it on either of them, but that could be K2 16, so 2 8s, or it could be 16 per. I don't know. The board looks, I mean, it looks 8th gen-ish, so it's 8th gen, so this thing has, if it is what he says it is, it's going to have either an 8700 or 8700K. I'm hoping 8700K, but you never know. It does have a 850 watt Thermaltake modular power supply, so that's a little better than I expected. And then it does have the SSD in it that I expected, which I believe is what do we got? 240 gig SSD. So pretty much what I expected on that. So let's find out if this sucker actually works. I mean, look, he seemed fairly honest of a guy, so I don't have any reason to believe it doesn't. But you guys know how it is. Until It looks like he's running HDMI. Until you actually know it works, you don't know it works. So, we're going to plug this in. Sorry for the lack of a light. It's like a decent board. And unlike if I just went out and bought a board, it does have the I/O shield, which is good. When I go to sell systems, I really like to get an I/O shield with them. So let's plug this in, and we will see if it turns on. That's a good sign. So, I should probably plug my... He said he already put Windows on it. Okay, that's not the greatest. I did pull one of the RAM sticks, though, so it's possible that it just... that's a bad sign. Do you work? Oh, there we go. Looks like we got something here. Okay, sorry, I stopped the recording there on accident. Okay, so we've got a i7 8700. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. And then it's got looks like he put Ubuntu on it. Interesting. Okay, well, so that gives us kind of our initial starting point. And I guess more videos with stuff about the with more content with stuff about the hardware coming. Pan RAM. It has the RAM is no name RAM. It's kind of funny. Anyway, though, thanks for watching.